Hello, friends, and welcome back to the JankDiver Gaming channel. My name is Timothy Zaccanino. Today, we're going to be doing some Karlov Manor draft. This is about week 2, maybe the end of week 2, like week 2.5, and it feels like there's been some metagame shifting going on with this format, which leads me to enjoy it quite a bit. I actually ended up in Mythic rank for Best of 1, but today we're going to play Best of 3 because Best of 3 is real magic. Not throwing shade to the traditional lovers or the the premier lovers out there, but Best of 3 is my baby. It's how I enjoy playing it. Yeah, so the metagame shift. So everybody came out the gate saying red-white was the best archetype in the format, and it is. But now that that's common knowledge, it feels like A, red-white decks are way more contested, and B, like these multicolor green decks are kind of where you want to be. Of course, if a red-white Boros deck presents itself here in this draft, we're going to move in on it. So that's going to be the name of the game. As always, before we jump into the draft, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find us on Twitter. You can find our podcast here on the YouTube channel, the Jank Tank, and you can support us by just subscribing, following us wherever you see us. We are a Cube-related community. Our Discord will be linked down below in the description for this video, where you can come find us, join some of our Cube drafts, give us feedback, and of course, watch and listen to some limited feedback from our community. I've been tracking all of the trophies for our community that have been posted in our Discord, and if you are a limited aficionado, you can get in on that. You can see yourself on our leaderboard. So that's the best way to support us, is just to come find us in that Discord and let us know, hey, I appreciated the video that I saw. All right, Best of 3. We'll talk about some card evaluations and changes as we get into it. This will be 3 matches total. Obviously, Best of 3 seats take a little bit longer to fill up. Where am I at on this format? I like it. It is not, I think I mentioned this in my first recording of the format, this is not Khans of Tarkir in 2024. Like, Disguise is not the entire focal point of the set. It is more of a feature that guides a lot of things around it. Whereas in Khans of Tarkir, it felt like the entire set was intentionally revolving around what Disguise does. My favorite things to do in this format, well, I'm not a Boros player at heart, but if you give me a really good go-wide deck and the opponents just don't have the tools to deal with it, I'm going to bias towards something like that. But I've also really been keen on like multicolor, 4-color, 5-color green decks with all of the green fixin'. Oh, hello. Just like 6 people sitting in a room together, all joining a draft together. All right, we'll see what this draft has in store for us. Hopefully, the play boosters have had a hugely recognizable effect on Cube, to the point where I think I want to get my podcast co-host Teld to sit down and talk with me as just a bonus episode for our podcast. Wow, look at this pack. This pack's actually quite good. So Kellen is a not like a top 10 rare, but still just very strong enough to first pick here. And I do like blue-green. For once in Limited's lifespan in the last couple of years, blue-green gets to be at least acceptable. Not the best archetype by any means, but Kellen's just a very strong card. Other than that, there's Buried in the Garden as not only just like the clear second best card, but possibly even just the best card, right? Like, it's good removal and it does the multicolor fixin' thing. Big fan of Out Cold. I think Slimy Dual Leech is quite strong as well, and that's pretty much it. There's a 2-drop here for decks that want 2-drops, but let's go and take Kellen and follow up with a Killer Among Us. That's going to be a really good follow-up. Probably one of the best uncommons. I don't know. Look, if you come here and you have your 17 lands data up and you're comparing it to what I say, I'm going to be honest, I just do not care what 17 lands says at all about anything. I just don't care. I get a feel for how these formats and archetypes work by just playing the set, the traditional way. So if you're a 17 lands enthusiast and it says this card sucks, I'm sorry. Although I do think it probably backs me up on it. 5 mana for 3 1/1s. By the time all is said and done with all of this block of text, you end up with a 4/4 instead of one of those 1/1s. There's a Shock here. Shock's really good. Slice from the Shadows is fine removal. Wisp Drinker Vampire is pretty good. And then there's also Flourish and Bloomkin, which is a card I like a decent amount. But I do get to start off with some strong ones. There's that Chalk Outline. There is that Chalk Outline. I'm not going to take it here. This card, I've only played this card once. I had a deck with 2 of them, and I felt like it was still undersupported in my deck despite starting out with one. It's a very fun card, and the format does kind of work to allow you to do it, as long as you put in the work in the draft to make it happen, and also just make sure you don't die to things. Here we have a Glint Weaver and a Nervous Gardener for us. I think I'm going to start with Glint Weaver, though this is starting with a really high curve. And Nervous Gardener does the multicolor green thing a lot better. Obviously, none of our cards fixed right now, but Glint Weaver has gotten me out of so many messes. There's also Extract a Confession, which I find to be a very strong removal spell. Unplayable case here, unfortunately. There's another case, the uncommon blue case, the Filched Falcon, that looks kind of similar to this. Like, the arts at a glance look very similar, but the rare is unplayable and the uncommon's quite good. We do have a Topiary Panther here for us. Really good if we end up with any Collect Evidence card, and I just like this card. Sometimes you tap out for a 6/5 trample, and I found that to be quite strong in the format. There's also Gravestone Strider, which is a 2-drop I like having in my decks. This card performs quite well if you're doing anything at all that cares about fixing, and also goes in the Chalk Outline deck. And then there's Gleaming Gear Drake, which is a card I like quite a bit. I like blue-red, but I never seem to have an avenue into it without like just trying to force it on a pick like this. But Panther fits with what we've got going on. Here, we're going to shift colors. I just got done with a draft that had 2 of these, and I got some poison kills, and it was fun, though I'm not going to move into black for it here. Soul Tie Pile's fine. I'm going to take Long Goodbye. I could be open to gray and black as well. Burden of Guilt. Like, if this is what the list is going to do to packs, is just randomly insert cards like this in 1 in every, like, 8 packs, it's just not worth having the list at all. That's not cool for paper. It's not cool for limited. It's just not great. This is best of 3, so Vengeful Creeper and Pick Your Poison both go up in value here. But Long Goodbye is a good removal spell, though in a weak color. Black is the weakest color. I think everyone agrees with that. Bite Down on Crime, good removal spell. I guess I am looking to get that Chalk Outline at this point. There's so many pieces for it, just moving around. Branch of Vitu-Ghazi, a card I wanted to like, and have found this to be quite bad. The problem with this card is that if you flip it up, you get a mana advantage, but you actually go down on board presence because you're just removing a 2/2 from your side of the board. Like, I don't think you would play a 3-mana card that said sack a 2/2, go get a land. That's just not worth it. Unplayable rare here, Anzrag's Rampage. Offender at Large, pretty good. Probably better than Pompous Gadabout, though I have no red yet. Here I'm inclined to either take Deduce or just take the green card to cut green off, though Gadabout is not a particularly good card in a format that has Shock floating around and things like the fish. I do think I just want to cut green here, though. Offender at Large is the strongest card for sure. Alright, this is a good sign on green. Undercity Eliminator is an interesting one. I found this card to actually underperform quite a bit. Though if I do end up in green-black exactly, it could be good. It is a 5-drop, though, and I have just a good 2-drop. My choke point on my decks always seems to be that I just don't end up with enough quality 2-drops. And you need to. You have to respect the Boros deck. So I am going to take a good 2-drop here. Vitu-Ghazi Inspector is good on turn 2 in this format, and it's good later in the game as well. I'll take the Gravestone Strider now. Sudden Setback, if you're a proactive blue deck, which there aren't that many in this format, then this card's quite good. I think like blue-white Detectives is probably a good home for this, but Strider fits the deck, and I think this was the pack that had the Chalk Outline. Like, everybody's trying to do the Chalk Outline thing. Just not a playable for us in this pack, unfortunately. It's going to be unfortunate when we see no green cards wheel, right? Just no green cards at all wheel. Sure. Hey, look, that's a combo, right? Sure, I'll take Bubble Smuggler. God, I hate Bubble Smuggler, but it's a 2-drop. Fender at Large. So we know we're green, though. Apparently we're fighting the rest of the table for green, because some of those packs had, like, multiple green cards, and we didn't see any of them come back. Here, Novice Inspector, if we want to go into the 5th color. There's Kranko's Buzz Crusher, which looks like a bomb. Plays out okay, but this being an artifact in best of 3 is rough. Artifacts do go down in value ever so slightly in best of 3 because your opponents will have cards like Pick Your Poison and stuff like that. I don't actually think this is a strong enough card for me to like jump in on a double red card and say, okay, we're doing it. So I think I'm just going to take Panther here. Still unsure what my second color is, but a Panther kind of lets me... Double Panther plus Gravestone Strider gives me a lot of flexibility in the draft. Private Eye, Novice Inspector are the best cards in the pack, but we'll see what happens with Panther here. We get past a Blood Spatter Analysis, which is double off color, but is a pretty strong card. Also Aftermath Math Analyst, which I found performs quite well. Escape Tunnel, good fixing. Lightning Helix, probably a bit too off color. I do like Crime Stopper Sprite. Tell it in our community, not a fan of this card. I think underselling it. It's not a premium card by any means, but I do think it performs quite well. I'm going to take Analyst here. Follow that up with, Hard Hitting Question's a nice one. This is just very often like 1 mana kill a creature. And we've got some big creatures. I mean, it works quite well with something like this, though you do have to time it right. You can't get blown out. Escape Tunnel here is nice. There's also Fanatical Strength, which is a good combat trick for these green decks. And Projector Inspector, possibly the best blue common. It plays out amazingly in this format. But Hard Hitting Question is in the color we know we are. Another Glint Weaver? Do we want another 7-drop? There is a Coerce to Kill here. I mean, you don't really want multiple 7-drops in the same deck. Coerce to Kill, though, is a double splash, but I kind of have the fixin'. We have 2 Topiary Panthers and a Gravestone Strider, so I guess we're not, like, all in on fixin' here. Feyflight, a card I think I like better than most people, especially in best of 3 where you can board it in against removal heavy decks. Let's take Coerce to Kill. It's the strongest card in the pack. There's that Gleeman Geardrake. Here's another Panther. I do not like Public Thoroughfare. Usually I'm fine with these cards, but this is so weak. There's also Dogwalker here, which is not going to fit the context of our deck. Another Gleeman Geardrake. There's a Projector Inspector. Just keep taking Panthers. We'll just, hopefully in pack 3, we'll open something that's like good enough to splash. We've got the fixin' for it now. And this pack's not really going to help us with anything. Granite Witness as like a card I can flip up for blue. Curious Cadaver with no real clue making. A lot of white cards flowing. Alright, now we could take Slice from the Shadows or Projector Inspector. I need early game plays and I need a few more removal spells. Projector Inspector's pretty good. I think I'm going to take Inspector over Slice. Ooh, Evidence Examiner is a nice one. I'm surprised to see that. Not seeing any of the chalk outline type cards wheel. It is a 2-drop. It's card advantage throughout a game. Can do some pretty interesting stuff. Reasonable Doubt, also a card I like quite a bit. Alright, so I think we're pretty much blue-green here with the option to splash black. And we do get a Reasonable Doubt. I also don't mind Hotshot Investigators. I don't like to take this card highly, but every time I play it, it ends up performing like just fine. Reasonable Doubt, not a kill spell, but a functional 2-drop. And I guess this is in, and this is possibly in, and Offender's not. This pick doesn't matter. There's that Interrogators. Sure. That's not going to make the cut, but sure. And I really don't want to play Criminologists. And sure. Alright, pack 3, Vein Ripper. Wow. Okay. Well, we asked for a splashable bomb. Is this a splashable bomb? I guess if we bias green-black, we still need triple black to cast this card, but man, is it a good one. I just finished writing an article for thegamer.com about the 10 biggest bombs in Murders at Karlov Manor Limited, and this was on the list. I mean, at the very worst, we should spec on this, right? And then we need to prioritize Nervous Gardeners and Escape Routes and stuff like that. If we get Fanatical Strength, Fairy Snoop, any of the blue cards back, we might be okay with those. We'll see. We'll see if this pans out or not. It looks a little sketchy. This is a gamble. Okay. That's a... What do they call them? Special guest slot card there. 2 Flotsam Jetsams. Soul Enervation as kind of like a weak removal spell if you're not doing the green-black thing. There's also Out Cold, which is a personal favorite of mine. There's also They Went This Way, which is weaker than a lot of the other cards here, but does kind of help with all of these expensive things. I think I'm actually going to take that. I need the Fixin'. I don't think it's the best card in the pack. Long Goodbye, Enervation, Out Cold, which Out Cold is my pet card of the format. All stronger, but maybe not necessary. Here's a Repulsive Mutation. Also an Extract a Confession, but Repulsive Mutation, so you do have to be in a position where you're kind of like pseudo-stable. This card can stabilize for you, but you got to time it right is basically what I'm saying. If you're ahead, this card a lot of times just wins the game for you. If you're not ahead, it can help you catch up, depending on your opponent's ability to interact with it. Mistway Spy, not a card I care about very much. Alright, here's some more options. Wanted to like this card, then I read it. I don't think this deck uses Aftermath Analyst that well, so, you know, the first one was fine, the second one is okay. Bite Down on Crime, They Went This Way. Maybe just another Inspector. Like, kind of okay on 2-drops. And I don't have any payoffs for removing things, so maybe I just take the Bite Down on Crime, and then I get 1, 2, 3 potential green cards. 1 of 3 different potential green cards back. Another Evidence Examiner. I saw this card cast on week 1, like day 2, and I have not seen it since, and now there's 2 of them in the pack. I've seen more cards in more curious inquiries in this pack than I have on the battlefield in this format. Second Evidence Examiner's kind of whatever. I do like a Cold Case Cracker. It's definitely better than a Gadabout. Go ahead and take that. And this is pick 7 with nothing for us. I guess we'll put a Galvanize in the board. Maybe we board in the Reconstruction, actually. Hustle Bustle is not really the card for this deck. You want to go wide for that one. This pack doesn't really have much for us. Sanguine Savior is technically flippable on black-black, but doesn't really fit what this deck wants to do, so not really much of a pick for us there. Okay, I do get an Out Cold. I love me an Out Cold. It's also a Fairy Snoop, but yeah, I'm going to take Out Cold. Flotsam Jetsam, I think, is for the board. I've heard mixed opinions about it, but if you're playing against people who have things like Topiary Panther, it can be strong. Inquiry to the board. Hey, we got a rare back, and we didn't get any of the other commons back from this pack. That's a shame. Yeah, I don't really want to splash a black 2-drop here. Alright, so the game plan here is to play kind of blue-green attrition, and then at some point in the game, fetch 3 black sources to cast a Vein Ripper. Seems doable, right? 14, 15, 16, 17. As far as fixing goes, we have Triple Panther, They Went This Way, Gravestone Strider. And I think that's kind of where we landed. Yeah. Which is maybe not enough. But five sources to go find other sources is probably okay. I do want to play, I think, the 3 swamps, though. That way I can always go fetch the last black source. Like, if I only play 1 swamp, or let's say 2 swamps, and then I draw They Went This Way, I can't actually go get the last swamp to cast Vein Ripper. So I think I want 3 swamps. So this looks about right. Might even want to go up to 9 green, just because 4 of my green mana fixer, or 4 of my mana fixers are in green. 5 islands is really low, but we only ever need to really find 1 island. As far as cuts go, Granite Witness looks a little weak here. I can only flip it up for white-white, or blue-blue. I hate Bubble Smuggler. But it is a 2-drop in a format where you kind of desperately need to. Like I said, Aftermath Analyst doesn't look that impressive to me here, but it'll be okay. Pompous Gadabout's not great either. Though I guess I have to... I can't cut all my 3s, right? Could cut Cold Case Cracker. I think those 2 are gone for sure. And then we need to cut 1 more. And this is realistically, like, higher up on the curve. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of want to just cut Pompous Gadabout, I think. Though, I should cut a 4-drop. I should cut a 4. Just cut the Cold Case Cracker. It's a decent little card. But Kellen's obviously better. I like Out Cold much more. I'm a little worried that I'm just not going to add to the board in the mid-game very much. If I cut a 3 or 4 drop. Does Analyst do anything? I mean, it's a 1/3 blocker. It gets evidence in the graveyard, sure, for the bite downs, the examiners, but I think 3 Panthers should have that covered. Let's go ahead and cut Analyst, and if we do play against aggro, we'll reconsider bringing in some early blockers like Smuggler plus Analyst here. And I think run this. Little sketchy on the mana base, really just stretching things for Vein Ripper. The card's obviously worth it. On power level, is it worth messing up the mana base like this? Probably not, but we're going to do it anyway. I didn't start recording this match, or this draft, to not splash a Vein Ripper, right? Okay, let's go ahead and fire off round 1. I will say green was probably not... I'll have to go back and look, but black X was probably where I was supposed to be in that draft. Green, not so much, right? Like, people are so high on these chalk outline decks now, I've noticed, that it's hard to, like... it's hard to get into them, it seems. Which shouldn't be the case, because it's not a tier 1 deck, it's just a really fun deck, which I guess makes sense. Alright, play first with... Yeah, we got some cards here. Probably lead on the Gravestone Strider, and then put off Cycle and Panther until there's a reason to do so. Yeah, let's go Strider here, in case we need to Long Goodbye next turn for some reason. We can cast that. There's a 1/3 from the opponent. Just gonna play Evidence Examiner and pass. And I'm not even gonna do the fake attack here. Against green black. I wonder if it's somebody in the same draft as us. You can't tell because for some reason they don't tell you the names of your opponents in best of 3, though they do in best of 1. I really don't understand why not, but. What are we doing here? Cast an Airtight Alibi or something? I mean, it's Morph, right? So he's Morph. Yep. Alright, Cold Case Cracker. I'm just going to go ahead and cast that. Ooh, Glint Weaver's a nice one at some point. So let's just get the 3/3 flyer on board. And then, again, any turn where I'm about to miss a land drop, I'll cast Panther, or I'll cycle Panther. But if I just keep drawing lands off the top, I'd rather just cast it. Does get me closer to Glint Weaver, though. We basically don't want to miss a land drop if we can avoid it, because we do have a 7-drop in our hand. And when you have 7 drops in your hand, you usually want to cast 7 drops. Word to the wise there, in case you didn't know. If they attack with a face-down creature, I'm going to block with Cold Case Cracker. They did not. Interesting. So I'll just attack here. Yeah. Just send in Cold Case Cracker. So for black, this could be Fairy Snoop. None of the green ones really matter that much. How cool would it be if they killed Cold Case Cracker in response to this and I got to collect evidence? I guess kind of cool. Like 6 out of 10 cool. Alright. Resolve the trigger. Go Cracker. Alright. Saltine gets in for 3, it looks like. And we'll go ahead and cycle Panther. Keeping up a Long Goodbye here. If that's a Crocodile. Alright, opponent casts Flotsam. Okay. They milled... Oh, wow. Massacre Girl Audience with Tristani. Okay, so that's perfect, actually, because that gives me an opportunity to just kill this without them being able to flip it up or anything. It was a... Oh, Culver Ambusher would have gotten me last turn. We'll just get a Swamp here, right? Because we have a triple black card in our deck. Maybe I should have... Oh, them casting Push and not holding on to Pool is kind of nice for me, because, like, Pool when your opponents have Topiary Panthers is busted. Okay, so here I think we can safely crack the clue. Or maybe I just want to go bite down on crime for 4. Kill the morph, which will get me a clue and then crack clue anyway. Yeah, we'll do that. I used some of my evidence, but that's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to reduce it by 2, and then we're going to pay the extra 2. Let's go ahead and do it on Examiner. Yep. This is evidence 6. We probably want to get rid of our Panthers anyway here, because they do have push pull, like in another game, if we go to game 2. Alright, and we attack here. Collect evidence 4. They had a Vengeful Creeper. Alright, smash for 4 here. Massacre Girl is a hell of a card. Basically, anytime you trade with your opponent in combat, they just draw a card. Though, Audience with Tristani tends not to be very good. The problem with this card, and it could have been so cool if it just counted all tokens, but it doesn't count non-tokens. I'm going to pass. I think I played a land this turn, so I don't need to crack right away. But hit another land, play Glint Weaver. Ooh, hello. There's a killer among us, as it seems. Card is strong. Okay, that lets us cast Glint Weaver. Also a Panther. I could go Panther into Glint Weaver. If I go Glint Weaver this turn, let's say I go 2 counters here and a counter here. They'd probably trade for the 2. Kind of like just going Panther, honestly. Though I can't crack a clue anyway, I should probably just go Glint Weaver, right? Yeah, we should probably use up our mana, I think. So if I go Glint Weaver, I'm going, what, 2 counters here and a counter here, attack, attack. They could basically throw away 2 tokens. Okay, let's do this. I could just make 1 big creature as well. I could make this a 5/5. Maybe that's better, actually. Just because they can't trade at that point. They're probably going to block with one of the unimportant 1/1s, I would assume. No block. Okay. Some argument for just playing Panther that turn, right? Because Panther into Glint Weaver makes a 9-power Trampler rather than a vanilla 5/5. But here, I mean, you got to get your value from a Killer Among Us, right? So they're probably attacking with the relevant 1/1. I'm surprised they didn't block at all, though. I mean, I guess they've got a little bit of a life total buffer. Oh, you know what? Audience with Tristani plus a Killer Among Us draws 4 cards on its own, so I guess that is a reason to play Audience. That does make a lot more sense to me. Looks like bite down on crime from opponent, maybe? Oh, I wonder what it is. Let's just, obviously we're not gonna block that. I take a little chunk of damage, but they get their 4/4. Public Thoroughfare. So they're splash. Have we seen a Clandestine Meddler? Okay, given the 4/4. Oh man, that's it's actually kind of Great, right? Because we can take this now, but it remains a 4/4 because it has counters on it and it's suspected. So here, I don't mind if Glintweaver just dies, but let's go ahead and crack a clue first. Out Cold, that's also quite good. Okay, so this changes things a little bit. So if I attack... Okay, I'm playing Topiary Panther this turn. Attack with these two. I assume Meddler blocks Glintweaver. Yep, just get material off board is what I want to see, because I'm going to play Panther. I'm going to have 2 giant threats and an Out Cold. Oh, I can't play Panther. Never mind, I'm stupid. So we're going to just take your Merfolk instead and make it a 4/4 Assassin Merfolk? Yeah. Can't block Menace Death Touch. Of course, to kill turns creatures into base power 1/1, but they put the 3+1/+1 counters on it. So the plan is to out cold our way through combat, though. What is this? We are collecting evidence on casting. Maybe another inspector, maybe a extract. Bite down on crime, sure. Though that doesn't actually do anything here, so it's probably not that one. Izoni, but Izoni collects evidence on ETB, so we wouldn't be doing it now. We'll see. We can speculate all we want. We're tapped out, so whatever my opponent casts. Oh, relive the past? What? What? Alright, my opponent's gone quite deep here. It's actually really cool. So relive the past just turns them into 5/5s, right? So it's bring back a land, an artifact, and an enchantment. Oh, but the Killer Among Us is a creature? That's really funny. So if I attack with the Assassin, it must be double blocked. I would probably happily just trade it for a 5/5. They could also go block, 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 block. Trade for 4 things, which I think favors me. Do need to get this Panther in play. Alright, let's, yeah. I'm going to send. If this trades for a 5/5 and a 1/1, I'm reasonably happy. If it just trades for 4 tokens, that's okay. If they just double block with 2 1/1s, that's fine as well. And the Merfolk can't block, right? So there's no reason to not attack with it. Okay. Oh. Trade in for the Killer Among Us. I guess that makes sense, right? You're not going to sack that to put 3 counters on a different creature. Okay, maybe you are. Sure. So trading that for 2 things is perfectly fine by me. Killer Among Us does not work on defense. You must be attacking with the token. Kill that, and let's go ahead and play Panther Pass. Still looking for a good opening for this out cold. We're close, but opponent has done some pretty wacky things. Relive the Past is not a card I've seen cast yet, but it looked quite strong there. If they'd gotten the 3rd thing back, I might be in a lot of trouble. Notably, this Gravestone Strider actually looks kind of decent against them. Can exile a card from a graveyard. It's good against Relive the Past. It's good against Push-Pull. I don't think it works against Jetsam, because Jetsam doesn't target. Alright. So, we'll start with this. Opponent did nothing. They could just have a kill spell of their own. I think I'm going to go proactive out cold on a Killer Among Us and Inspector and just jam. Again, just trying to chew through a lot of material here. Opponent's been on the back foot the whole game, but they're stabilizing extremely well. And we can play Examiner post-combat. I guess we could do out cold first. And then play Examiner and get 2 more clues. Yeah, I'm not doing anything else, so, I mean, I'm tapping out, I'm showing my opponent the way is clear. Get so many clues. Alright, that's for one. Oh, yeah, I don't even need to make this many clues. I really don't. I'm going to decline, actually. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all these clues by the end of the game. And I would like to keep some evidence in my graveyard for things like Bite Down on Crime. I have at least one more of those. Alright, let's see what they've got in hand. Just a pump spell or something? Okay, I mean, trading for... Still getting 1 damage through on that. And I'm assuming that is the named creature type. Alright, cool. So, opponent grinding. Opponent's like, what's the word? What's the phrase you say, Teld? Opponent was cooking there, right? Is my Flotsam Jetsam good? Probably not. I don't actually want to mill my opponent. Interrogators looked like a way to win a game there. Opponent does not have good ways to get through a 5/6. Don't know that we need the Smuggler. I think the Interrogator is the only thing I'm going to consider here, but I don't really necessarily feel like I need it either. Gadabout, anything really bad? Gadabout is okay against them. Just gonna not bring in another 6-drop, I don't think. Okay. Let's see what happens. Do gotta watch out, they have a Vengeful Creeper, which lines up pretty well against my Coerce to Kill in particular, but also just randomly works against things like the Killer Among Us and stuff like that. Thought I had that game for... I mean, I ended up winning, right? But I thought I had that game, like, for 3 turns straight, and then opponent was just like, I've still got things. I'm still doing things. I don't know that they showed us an artifact for Relive the Past, but I'm sure they're in there. Game 2 against Pally's 33. It's like one of those matchups where I would consider putting my opponent on the draw. Problem, of course, like, it just feels never right, even in attrition-y kind of matchups like this, where your opponent's not just slamming 1, 2, 3, like, sure, you put them on the draw, or you put them on the play, and it's like, okay, well, I curved into a Killer Among Us, and now I get to activate that while I'm beating you down, and it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't have put you on the play. Just never feels right. Opponent is certainly on an interest in deck, and it seems like a functional interest in deck. It's not like they're even just screwing around for the sake of screwing around, you know? Seems like the Tristani, Audience with Tristani, actually works in their deck, which is cool, because you don't see that card work basically ever. We do have a Long Goodbye here. Be nice to take out a 3-drop. Gravestone Strider to get our green mana, hopefully, if the opponent takes their turn, of course. We got a rope. Okay. I see a lot of rope these days. So maybe this will be the time I die to it, but I've yet to see this card do anything relevant. It's just so expensive to get going. You can kind of just ignore the creature that has it if they're on offense, because you have to take a whole turn off to equip it, but then you're only getting +1. There are probably times where this card is quite relevant, but I haven't seen them yet. I have not seen them yet. Oh, Sharp-Eyed Rookie? Yeah, we can, yeah, let's just not even screw around. Let's just kill that one. Maybe, maybe that's an instance where it's right to hold up the Long Goodbye at instant speed, because they could either go for the rope equip, or if they cast a creature, which they would do pre-combat like this, I would just kill it in response. Same end result there, right? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and cast a 4/2 for 3. This thing is hexproof on my turn, and can't be blocked by face-down creatures, essentially. Rope it up, make a 2/5. Yeah, we're roping it up. And we're attacking. So we're trading a turn and 2 mana for a 4/2. I'm fine with that. Here, I think I just like going 2-drop, 2-drop, and using the turn to attack. there's some consideration for this point in the game for just holding up Repulsive Mutation, but I would like to play more to the board if possible. Also, this, I mean, they've shown us some pretty expensive stuff that we can get with this. Once you have an established board, if you're ahead at all, Repulsive Mutation is just the card that slams the door. So let's make sure that we're actually ahead on board first, and then we'll worry about closing things out. But my hand looks really good against what my opponent's doing, barring something like a Zoni, you know. That's fine. Can't activate Fester Leech. Reasonable Doubt also good here. That being said, I don't necessarily have a good attack. This can't be blocked by more than one creature. I mean, I could go for the bite down on Crime and just bite the bullet on this turn. But, yeah, and then they can't even kill this because then the Morph couldn't block either. They put the rope on something else. And that's fine. Alright, let's do the bite down on Crime, which also gives me some evidence to collect. Punch for 6. Yeah, they can't actively kill the Gadabout here. Chunk. Look at that text coming up. It's relevant text. Okay. My source of damage has been pushed. That's okay. Get those push-pulls out of here. Push-pull has been, like, a huge overperformer for me. Like, phenomenal how good that card is. And we're sacking Rope for mana. Alright, so now we're keeping up counter spells, right? Now we're just keeping up counter spells. Are we attacking? I have 4 evidence. Would actually be nice to get the counter out of this. I can attack with my 2/2. If they trade with their 2/2, that's probably okay. I don't care necessarily about these creatures. I can also just crack a Clue and pass. I don't have to overthink this too much. I'm gonna decline here. I don't want to eat both my cards for that. And I'm going to offer them the trade for their 2/2. Their 2/2 is probably better than my Evidence Examiner at this time. I've got plenty of tools in my hand to work with. I have Clue on board. I liked Fester Leech for the first week or so, but I have found it to be quite weak. I do think it's very strong in black-white specifically, and theoretically should be good in black-red, but it's like not a deck in the format for whatever reason. Opponent is tanking on the block. I mean, the worst that morph could be is a Nervous Gardener, right? The one that flips up for G, but still stays as a 2/2. Opponent. Hello. Palace. 33. Alright, I don't know if they disconnected or if they're just roping or not. Well, they can't rope anymore, right? They shouldn't be roping because rope is literally gone, so I'm just going to assume my opponent disconnected here, but I'll jump back in when action happens. Okay, action happened. Never mind. We're good. They went away just long enough for me to make the roping joke. I guess if they're face-down creatures, Crocodile. I'm not blocking this. Ever. Pumping Fester Leech? That's wild. Alright, I take 5. They mill 2. Creeper Flotsam Jetsam. Alright, let's go ahead and crack a Clue. I was hoping they would give me a chance to cast Reasonable Doubt, because then I could just cast my Inspector for an extra counter. Put them on a 2-turn clock here. It's a little annoying that they're tanking in response to all the little things, but benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're having connection issues, you never know. More lands aren't even bad draws here. Don't need to use that hard-hitting question, I don't think. Though I can go hard-hitting question, punch that if they respond, reasonable doubt, then play Inspector. I just don't need to do all that. That's just a lot of things we don't need to do. I assume they have like +3/+3 trick here. Nah, go ahead. Can't even just fire this off, right? But X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Okay, Fester Leech coming in. Got it. And pass. Okay, they just got bored of me thinking, I guess, but I was going to look. So I wonder, I'm just thinking at the end of that turn if there was some reason to go like Repulsive Mutation to put some counters on my creature. But I don't think I'd double blue to also reasonable doubt something. We'll take our win, though. That felt like a pretty decisive win in my favor, even though my opponent did some pretty cool stuff. I probably bored them to death there, but they also tanked on the last couple turns, so I don't really know. Maybe if they had flipped that 4/5 up, they could have just eaten one of my creatures, probably. I will play first. We are against Valmuth, and we've almost got a keepable hand. If I knew there was another land on top, I would keep this, but I don't believe I can. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to keep this one and just make the same wish. And if we, you know, it's modern Magic, so we miss a land drop, we're dead. Hey, okay, we get to play. That being said, we should... this doesn't even do anything, so in playing an additional land, that's got to be worse than just putting a 1/3 on board. My opponent put a Plains down, so we're probably going to have to block at some point. If I draw a land, I cast They Went This Way. If I don't draw a land, we go Panther. And we get a black source. And you got the haste creature, you got it. You didn't have it last turn. I mean, they just play a fish here, that's okay. Well, we're against the Boogeyman. Yep, inside source, just absolutely absurd in a format that doesn't have ways to kill multiple creatures. I am going to play a Kellen face up and pass, and hopefully they don't have an answer for that one. Not a ton of ways to deal with it, but makeshift bind in. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do to this. I will not fight you over that. Okay, I mean, yeah, again, like, red-white just does this, right? Bite down on crime's a fine draw. Out cold's also decent. I could go Panther plus bite down just to develop my mana a little bit more. I could just go out cold. I have options. Feels like the out cold's probably good enough. This has vigilance. Alright, go ahead. I'm gonna out cold menace creature plus a 2/2, I guess. If they make the same attack, I'll block with Inspector on a 2/2. Uh-huh. We're gonna Auspicious. Yep, Auspicious Arrival, very good. Another reason red-white's so good is, like, all the combat tricks win combat and then also draw you. Okay, that was smart of them to... Okay, they have Shock, too. Smart of them to sack the clue right away, right? I guess they could have let me target their clue first, but... Here, looks like I can attack with Kellen, draw the card off this. It basically just saves me the 2 mana to do it. And then cycle Panther, use Bite Down, or if I'm going to use Bite Down, I should do it now. Kill this 2/2. Person of Interest is actually better. Maybe I should have tap. Yeah, if I'm gonna do bite down, I should do it now. Let's go and do it. Let's bite down Criminy Crime. And I'll kill this one. This is 6. And we're thinking shock in hand here. It could be Felonious Rage. Okay, it does look like Felonious Rage. So basically that's just a 2-2. I mean, I'm not confident about my ability to win this game. All it takes is them killing Kellen and I'm in trouble. So blow up my own artifact, draw a card. It's a land, which is good. And I'm just going to go... They went this way because I'm probably going to need to cast some 6/5s this game. Alright, leave my Kellen alone still, please. And at this point, I just kind of can't block. Yeah. I could get them to use the shock now and just start playing 6/5s, but I think the Kellen's okay. I don't think I'm winning this game. I really don't. Especially knowing that one of their cards is probably shock. So attack here, pop the clue. Draw. Oh, Killer Among Us is actually pretty good, but I think I'd rather play 6 mana for a 6/5. If I had a 7th mana, I would just play 2 things. So now I think I have to bait the shock. Oh, they conceded? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. But they might not have the shock, actually. We did put them on Felonious Rage, right? Okay, they conceded there. That's wild. I guess their hand is 3 lands or something, but they have play. They have plays. I didn't think I was winning there. Okay, what are we doing? So probably just the early game creatures come in. And then some late game stuff comes out. Probably not the matchup where we want to be trying to do the Vein Ripper thing. Also, Coerce to Kill tends to be pretty bad in these matchups. Like, you're just spending 5 mana to take a 2/2. It's still pretty decent, but I think I am going to cut it. Just make sure we have some early game plays. I mean, we definitely have the early game plays. This guy sucks in this matchup for sure. Out Cold is a little bit worse here. I think I'm going to cut a Pompous Gadabout. Does feel a little wrong to cut Coerce to Kill, but they didn't show us anything big to take. If you're using Coerce to Kill to take like a Detective token, that's just not going to work out, I don't think. Like, yeah, you still 2 for 1, but you 2 for 1 for 5 mana on some pretty inconsequential cards. I mean, if I draw a 2-drop, this hand's quite good, but if I don't, it doesn't do anything. I think I'm going to keep and just hope the top of my library is nice to me. It is not. It is not. Still, 2-drop. Sanitation Automaton, 2/1 that surveils 1. Fine card to put in decks. Bullrack. Okay, well, that is exactly the opposite of what we needed to draw to be competitive in this match, so we're probably going to die. They're going to either play a Dogwalker or an Inside Source, and it will be too late, especially if I don't add to the board this turn. Let's go get a Black Source. Alright, a little bit too late on that one, but we'll take it. And I'm actually going to decline here because I have plays for the rest of my turns, and I think I need to bite down on Crime if given the chance for less mana. Some face-down creatures. Sure. Go ahead. Still declining. I think the way I get back in this game is a double spell turn. Yep. I'm going to go like this. And yeah, they use the Auspicious thing to kill the Cold Case Cracker. I trade with the other one. Okay, yeah, that is not what we wanted to draw. Let's start by drawing off this clue. Okay, that was actually a pretty good draw. And if I draw a... Alright, let's just kill this now before they can flip it up. Yeah. The problem is, I mean, screw beats flood, right? They're red-white, so even though they're hurting on lands, they're not really doing very much. Or you know, they don't need that many lands to operate. I'm getting a little bit of a reprieve. They're giving me the chance to get in this, and I'm not. I'm unable to capitalize on it because I just have, man. Well, I mean, pretty obvious plays this turn is to just go here, go get another black source, crack the clue right away, play a land pass. I mean, Gravestone Strider into some bite downs. Novice Inspector's good. They drew Novice Inspector this turn. Had to have, right? Yep, I'm dying. Reasonable Doubt. So, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can cast all 4 of these spells, and I probably have to. Though, I guess what I can do is Strider. Actually don't need to collect evidence on this if I'm not casting the other bite down. Actually doesn't matter much how I tap. We're gonna kill the 1/3. And, I mean, Reasonable Doubt, not suspecting anything. Looking for Glintweaver now. Looking for Rippy Ripper. Submit 0. Repulsive Mutation. Jeez, that was not what we needed to see. Land number 10. Yeah, we needed something there. This is probably game over now. Dang. Opponent gave us, like, all the opportunity in the world. Okay, okay. So, I'm gonna bite. And I am gonna collect evidence because I want a mutation for as much as possible. This needs 6. Let's go ahead and do a Panther. And we have mutation for 6 now. That's good. Okay, that's a good target. 5, 6. Target a creature, target a spell. Alright, I made a 7/9. I'm drawing off the top. Okay. Don't think I can attack. Jeez, man. Like, we're... That's land number 11, by the way. My opponent's on just all spells. They're just going to be able to push through is the problem. I have no other board presence. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm okay. I'm off of it at this point. I'm off of it. Dang, I had all the opportunities there to get ahead in that game, and it just... I didn't draw anything that did anything. Does Coerce to Kill look better now? I mean, like, yes and no. They have enough, like, mid-rangey kind of creatures that are worth taking from them, but it's bad against a lot of their other stuff. Reconsider. I don't want to take out the 2s. Man, that was rough. Felt like we were getting back in it. We had the answers, and we just didn't draw any of the top-end stuff. Can you imagine that Glintweaver? We could gain 12 life. Hey, Coerced is not even a particularly good answer against some of the morphs. I have been able to cast the Vein Ripper, I just haven't drawn the Vein Ripper. Oh, man. Could cut like a Bubble Smuggler here. Okay. Maybe it's wrong to cut a 2-drop for a 5-drop in a match like this. Oh, such a frustrating loss that last round. Let's rally back, though. Okay, we have a Panther. Again, not how we really want to be using turn 2 in this game, but... So we get to go, like, Examiner into Hard-Hitting Question. That's nice. I'm going to have to use the Panther here to go get blue, just because my spells are blue. Automaton, Surveil. And I think I'm not going to cast Examiner. I just hold up Reasonable Doubt. Try to catch their 3-drop off guard. We don't care about the 2-1 that much. Ouch. Yeah, that's much better than having my 2-2 on board. Great. Looks good. I am going to hard hit in question now, though. They play Person of Interest. That's okay. Get a clue token. Missing my land drop is rough, but we do what we got to do. Collect evidence 4 has to be the Panther. This deck does not want to miss land drops, and you do not want to miss land drops against red white in general. But that is exactly what we're doing, is missing land drops. If that is the 3-2 double striker, it's not that bad. We've seen Gadgeteer as well, or Gadget Technician. Man, I really want to crack this clue to try and hit a land. Get to double spell territory. I could play just 1-3 face up. It's very unimpressive. Either way, I'm going to offer this trade, which they're not going to take, because why would you? Alright, I'm going to go for the... We're going to go for the Gusto here. Rewarded. Could keep up Mutation for 2, right? You don't need... X can be 0 and you still counter equal to the highest power. I kind of want this to be the 3-2 because I can just bite that. Dogwalker, sure. Dogwalker's busted common. Just unreal common. Okay, don't mind that. That is not a important part of the deck. Here... So I can go long goodbye and then bite down on crime. Could also just out cold. I really don't need to... Okay, I think I could just full price bite down on crime here. And then I'm just gonna... I'm gonna give up the 3 damage to be able to block these dogs. I don't need to double spell to kill a... God, stop. Seriously, they get the clue, I eat a 1-1. Vein Ripper right off the top. Right when we needed it, right? Well, this is bad, because now... Dang, just feels like I did everything wrong that I could have done wrong. Could have kept up Mutation, could have had Out Cold. I mean, my only real play is Out Cold here. I think we've lost this game at this point. If I could get Vein Ripper down somehow, but I only have 1 black source. Missing the land drops were really rough this game. Alright, that's decent. Long goodbye doesn't do anything about that. Let's go ahead and get the killer down and pass. Oh, he's Merfolk. Meddling Youths is unlocked next turn. Perimeter Enforcer, I haven't seen that one yet. It's a good card, though. Just an evasive body. They've got a Karlov Watchdog, too. They're just doing too much. They're just doing way too much. That's not bad, though. That's actually not bad at all, so... What did I name? Merfolk? So what I can actually do here is... Oh no, I would need to give it Death Touch first. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be able to kill this because my creature's going to have Death Touch till end of turn, but I miss out on the damage from the bite down on the crime. So let's send in Merfolk. It's like no way they'd block this. And that deals 4. And then we just 2 mana bite down on crime the Meddling Youths. Six, 5, 6. And then I probably just have to long goodbye this immediately. They do get the attack in with everything here. It's going to deal a lot of damage. But I can't kill the watchdog, and that could be... Yeah, that would have been very rough. This is why you use Long Goodbye proactively. I mean, can't really afford to play around much here. Can I go to 6? Because I can triple block the dog. They've shown us Lightning Helix. They've not shown us the Auspicious thing yet. Could also triple... Yeah, I could just triple block dog here. I mean, dog token. Or I could triple block here and hope they don't have anything. Yeah. Okay. Let's just, hope this trades for 2 of my things. Nope, they've got it. I mean, anything does it. Pump spell, removal spell for one of my creatures. Yeah, one that replaces itself nonetheless. Yeah, this is not how we win this game. Okay, coerced. I can't cast because I just lost my Strider. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Not working out quite well. So I have to block here. Take 4. Go. I mean, go ahead. I can Repulsive Mutation to counter basically anything. Really? Okay, I actually like that. Novice Inspector, I have to let that one through. I hate it, but the post-combat Novice Inspector, gotta love that one. Galvanize, alright. So 1, 2, counter that unless you pay $1 million. 6 Panther versus Coerce to Kill now. So I think I have to Coerce to Kill the dog, the Markov Watchdog. I'm still just dying to this Enforcer. Alternatively, I could just play like 6/5, but then they get to go Flunge, and then I die to any combat trick, so I think I just kind of have to do this and accept that I'm dying to this 1/1 in the air. My opponent's still on just 4 cards functionally in their red-white deck. Yeah. We're not even close to Vein Ripper here, unfortunately. Glint Weaver off the top. I can't cast Glint Weaver, never mind. Nope, it's over. GG. My opponent just never ran out of anything that game. Rough, 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 rough. That sucks. I mean, that one was just a, you know, red-white doing the red-white thing. But that first game where I just felt like I was stable and it was like my opponent didn't do anything and we just didn't draw into anything that was relevant, that one was rough because we had the opportunity to call back into it. But we'll go for the 3. We'll go for the 3rd round here. Go for the 2-1. Vein Ripper biting me on that one for sure. Yeah, play first. Man, these hands have not been kind with, like, my ability to cast spells. I'm still going to keep this, and again, just kind of hope that I draw something to do. I have early game plays. Like, they just don't want to show up. Yes, the 7-drop is what we wanted there. Go for it. Red-black. Vengeful Tracker, sure. I mean, if I don't draw anything... We're just gonna die, but there we go. That's a thing. And we will collect evidence right away to get my clue. Not that the clue is amazing against a Vengeful Tracker, but hopefully they just give me the opportunity to trade here. All the trading I can do, the better. Coerce to Kill to try and take something big. Get that out of here. My 2/2 did its job. It replaced itself. Okay, got a morph. And not anything to do with it. I have another swamp in hand, so let's go ahead and crack like this. Long goodbye. Best draw. It's kind of like a short goodbye. And not, I mean, still at 20 is nice. Like, yeah, they're going to be up 2 creatures here, but I get to cast my Killer Mungus. I get to Coerce to kill the following turn. This feels okay. Sure. As long as it's not something ridiculous. Always Merfolk. Merfolk every time. The decision is completely arbitrary. Technically, if you had, like, other Goblin tokens, human tokens, blah, blah, blah in your deck, you could pick those and pump one of those, but there aren't really that many things that make them. You can flip up whatever you want to flip up here. Kind of hope they do flip up like an Offender at Large. Ooh, yes. I will take that one. Ooh, Vein Ripper. I am 1 black away from casting it this time. This is going to be an easy steal that, attack all. I'll just leave back human. We don't care about that. And go ahead. This is Double Strike Death Touch. So it's the ultimate blocker. I'm at 10 life, but I'm going to cast a Glint Weaver next turn. And either gain 7, or maybe put all the counters here, gain 4, and make a 4/4 Double Strike Death Touch Trample. That feels pretty good. Anything I could die to this turn if I don't block that 2/2. I mean, I guess the worst thing would be like Offender at Large. I'm just going to block it here. Ouch. Like, spewing a little bit of equity there. I have the Glint Weaver. Maybe I shouldn't block that, right? Even if they kill the 4/4, that's okay. Okay, they're going to torch it. Yeah, so I'll just throw the counters on the Clan Basher. Projector Inspector's actually nice. Here, so Glint Weaver. Yeah, that puts me to 14, and I just hit them for 8. I still have a 3/3 on defense. That feels good. And I get to attack with my Goblin as well. Let's just put all the counters there and go smashy smashy. Cyclops Warrior Assassin. Alright, they're going to have to answer this Basher. Hopefully not by removing the Coerced to kill, but I don't know if Red-Black really has a way to do that. If not, the Death Touch Trample trick is kind of insane. You got it. And Projector Inspector, hopefully, even if things go south somehow. Harry Dronesmith is not going to do it, so they're just dead on board, right? Because, I mean, they have to triple block. Yeah. Okay, so that should just kill them, right? Death Touch Trample means I only have to go like 1/1/1. Even if they triple block here, I trample over for 5. They might not know that, though. Yeah, so you deal 1 with Death Touch, you trample over for the rest, and then you just double strike the whole rest of it. They're more... hello? Via the battlefield? Can I... You're supposed... Can I not... Okay, well, I'm supposed to know what this is. It's supposed to be revealed, but it appears that it was not. That being said, just kind of red-black beatdown. Another aggressive deck that I feel like I have the tools against. Aftermath Analyst, Bubble Smuggler, still options. I won't take out the Coerce to kill this time, I don't think. It's actually pretty good against Dronesmith. It's not terrible against Repeat Offender, if they just spend their time dumping into it. Maybe I'm supposed to be cutting like the counter spells on the draw. They weren't particularly good. The Vein Ripper, I just want to cast it. Like, I know it's not correct. Let's get Gadaval out of here. And yeah, maybe just the Bubble Smuggler doesn't come in. So going up a 2-drop, going down a 3-drop, and then we'll just see how it plays out against them. Should be okay. Trade for their early stuff is kind of the hope. Okay, this is a good hand. This is a good hand. Red drop they didn't want to cast. Would that happen to be a shock? Okay, so we have to watch out for shock here. That's okay. Fester Leech. Sure. They get to keep up shock. Let's go ahead and make them use it. Did say Fester Leech is theoretically good in red-black. You got it. So next turn, Projector Inspector. Hopefully just Curvin. 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, and they use their removal on the early game things. Frantic Scapegoat. Gross. And they pump Fester Leech this turn or play a 2-2. Runebrand Juggler. Well, they got the red-black thing going on. They're doing the thing, and it might not be easy for me to get through on it. Yeah, they're just very low curve red-black. It is going to suck. Well, I get to do this. Ooh, I think I'm going to drop the Coerce to kill here. That's got to be right, because A, I don't have black. I know I can get black. But taking any of these creatures when they're suspected is not good. They can't block, so taking a 1/1 Death Touch, this is just basically 5-mana murder at this point. Wow, opponent's really doing the red-black thing. I mean, I can't block any of their creatures. And I need to survive somehow to... They're going to Surveil 3. Yeah, this... I mean, if I don't draw a land, the game's over. But if I draw a land, I'm just going to cast Kellen and hope they don't have anything. And if they do, like... I'm just dead. Push-pull. Okay. Alright, so... I basically just have to cast Kellen, and that's it. I could cast Bite Down on Crime, but... This is a detective. I will loot away a panther, I think. I mean, obviously we're trying really hard to get to Glintweaver territory, but the game might not last that long. Opponent's deck is sleek. Just very low to the curve. That shock, I mean, the shock did it for him. Huh. Okay, no attack with the others probably means we're not. Convenient target to the graveyard is also a very good card. I'm going to block here. If they want to spend their turn killing Inspector, then we do what we got to do. Okay. What else you got? Repeat Offender. Move that over. Okay, Long Goodbye is a nice draw. I get to kill 2 things here now. I do get to attack for free. No artifacts to kill. They could pick up and replay Convenient Target, so I can keep Long Goodbye at the ready here, but I do have to use the Bite Down on Crime. Oh, I missed 2 points of damage. I'm playing a little bit too fast. So here I should kill probably just like Runebrand Juggler, I think. I did spew there a little bit, y'all. I'm missing 2 points of damage. It's very relevant. So now I'm hoping they just go for like Convenient Target. I get to trade my Long Goodbye for one of their creatures and their mana this turn. And then obviously we want to from this position we just want to draw land. Doing it? Okay, nice. I mean, they get to just do it again next turn, right? But I'm only taking 1 this turn. They want to put that on Repeat Offender? Maybe, I mean, I want that. Yes, that's the one I wanted them to put it on. Alright. So I take 1 this turn, but we get to eat their mana. They have a land in hand as well. There it goes. Game's not over. Okay, there we go. That's nice. Missing 2 points of damage, Tim. The race would be in your favor right now. And if we draw the land next turn for Glintweaver, I think the game just ends. Because I'm just going to gain so much life to undo whatever they were doing. Okay, yeah, that's not going to be relevant. And they made their best blocker worse. Okay, Aftermath Analyst is okay. That Out Cold would have been nice. 6/5 coming in. I think I am actually going to... I mean, they're just kind of dead on board, right? They removed their 2/3 blocker, but I think I should just activate Analyst on end of turn, get the land back, and cast Glintweaver. Alright, my mistake didn't matter. I do think suspecting this is probably bad, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that made. It's weird, too, because red-black, I believe, is the worst performing color, according to, quote-unquote, the data, trademark. And it looks like a good deck. Like, this just looks like a good deck. You have all of the, payoff cards that you're supposed to have. Even, I mean, like, my opponent has the red-black deck right here. And I guess they were just a removal spell away from actually killing me. Like, if they killed Kellen, maybe they just didn't break their way. But the deck looks really good, but just doesn't seem to win for whatever reason. That being said, was a good game. And we went 2-1. 2-1's okay. We lost to red-white. We lost to the Boogeyman. We weren't able to, bring down the Boros win percentage. But we did also, like, not cast this card at all. And our mana, like, suffered a little bit. I don't think we ever had trouble finding the mana for our main deck cards. But we did have Vein Ripper in our hand in, I think, 2 different games, unable to cast it, which is something we knew was going to happen. Triple black is just like Alpha Splash. It's ambitious. We know that was ambitious. It was probably almost assuredly incorrect to do. Because, like, yeah, your Panthers and they went this way. They fix you, but they only fix you once each. You have to fix 3 times to find cast a Vein Ripper. That being said, had we resolved Vein Ripper in any of the matches where we had the mana to do it, it probably would have won the game. This deck played pretty nicely. I think I got a little lucky in some of my matches that my opponents were just a removal spell short of killing me, but my interaction was fine. The long goodbye and the hard-hitting questions showed up when they need to. The bite down on crimes are just always good. Course to Kill, obviously, was very good in most of the games. My card quality is good here. Glint Weaver, Killer Among Us, Kellen, all very strong. Consistent mana base, though I did get punked by my mana in this draft. But we take our 2-1s. A couple lessons learned here. What would I do to change this deck? I feel like I almost had a really good chalk outline deck and then ended up somehow fighting people for green in the entire draft, which I don't know how we ended up in that position. I don't feel like I passed absurd green cards, but it was clear other people were on green. That's going to go ahead and do it, though. 2-1. We take those. We're happy enough with those. We go down on gems. We get some packs. We learn a little bit. We have fun in the draft. As long as it's not 1-2, right? 1-2 is gross. I do wish they would incentivize people to play best of 3 more, because it's just so much better Magic for modern day limited than best of 1, but that's a rant for a different time. At any rate, if you enjoyed these matches, if you enjoyed watching, if you want to see more of this, let me know in the comments below. And like I said at the top of the video, you can find us in the JankDiver Gaming Discord, which is also linked in the description below, where we do all of our weekly cube events, 6 events a week at this point. And yeah, it's just a fun place to hang out. There's people streaming their drafts throughout the day, until the set gets stale, but it's still fresh enough that people are sharing their drafts and people are just kind of hanging out watching them do their thing. But that's going to go and do it. Hope you had a fun time watching maybe me flubbing, missing a couple points of damage here and there, but that's going to go and do it. Like I said, my name is Timothy Zaccanino with JankDiver Gaming. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.